Money Fire was emergency.
Engine 5, call building at the airport.
Engine 2, Medic 1.
Okay, we shall be on the way.
Engine 5, Rescue 1, Medic 1, Car 2, I-93 southbound.
The town of Londonderry is located in the southeastern portion of New Hampshire and is bordered by the communities of Windham, Derry, Auburn, Manchester, Litchfield, and Hudson. Although Londonderry is primarily a suburban community, there are many significant businesses and infrastructures that have a substantial impact around the community as a whole on emergency services. The Londonderry Fire Rescue Department is greatly impacted by this diverse industrial and suburban population. This population includes the protection of $2.2 billion in property, a population of approximately 25,000, and a student population over 5,000, along with a daily transient population of approximately 10,000 people. It should also be noted that over 60,000 vehicles per day use the I-93 at Exit 4 interchange. The Fire and Rescue Department is broken into 5 divisions: Administration, Operations, Fire Prevention, Support Services, and Communications. The Fire Administration is responsible for identifying and managing the resources necessary to achieve the mission of the department. This includes fiscal management, personnel administration, policy development, and planning. Currently, there are 6 personnel assigned to this division. Londonderry has 3 fire stations that cover 43 square miles. Each are geographically located for appropriate response times. Each station houses a first-run engine company and forestry unit. The David A. Hicks Central Fire Station additionally houses a rescue truck, 2 advanced life support ambulances, an aerial platform truck, and a command unit. These vehicles are unique to certain tasks depending on the type of emergency and are housed in a centralized location. The Operations Division is responsible for the response and mitigation of all emergencies. This is the service that will most likely have a direct effect on you and your family's well-being and the quality of life in Londonderry. The Operations Division is the single most important resource to affect the mission of the department. Inclusive of the geographical size of Londonderry's 43 square miles, there are 15 miles of interstate highway, 30 miles of state highway, and a major regional airport which serves over 3 million passengers and 185 million pounds of cargo annually. We also have public utilities and the Armed Forces Reserve Center, which houses over 800 military personnel. It is usually underestimated what impact an effective service can have on its residents, businesses, transient population, and the overall quality of life in Londonderry. The Fire and Rescue Department is a very labor-intensive service which requires highly skilled, trained personnel. The diverse nature of our job requires firefighters to perform life-saving techniques and various mitigation applications in many areas from medical emergencies to hazardous material incidents. The department has 40 full-time firefighters that are assigned to 4 battalions. Currently, there are 10 firefighters assigned to each battalion in order to maintain a staffing level at each station. Londonderry has one of the best advanced life support EMS systems in the state, with an excellent working relationship with the hospital's emergency departments. This service is frontline of all medical treatment. The first few minutes of any EMS call can make a difference between life and death and the quality of life of many patients. To coincide with the responsibilities of EMS, each member must also specialize in hazardous materials, incident response and mitigation, basic and specialized fire suppression techniques, which include airport fire and rescue firefighting, and other technical rescue operations, which include but are not limited to vehicle rescue, water rescue, critical angle rescue, which includes height and below grade, and confined space rescue. We are also the primary EMS provider for the airport, which includes single medical responses to mass casualty response. To coincide with EMS at the airport, Londonderry is responsible for the fire protection and hazard mitigation of the terminal, parking garage, fuel farms, and other special occupancies associated with the airport. The Fire Prevention Division's primary responsibility is the prevention of fires and the minimization of hazards through plans review, site review, code enforcement, facility inspections, life safety inspections, and enforcement and scene investigations. All of these reduce the potential hazards. The Fire Prevention Division, inclusive of the mentioned responsibilities, performs over 1,800 activities each year. Of these activities, there are multiple code violations that are corrected, including life safety violations. The Fire Marshal is the only employee assigned to the Fire Prevention Division. As with any organization, support for the resources are needed to affect the mission. The Support Services Division is responsible for this. There are no additional personnel employed to this division. Rather, the existing personnel are used in concurrent capacity to fill this need. The coordinators associated with technical services are emergency medical services, vehicle repair and maintenance, station repair and maintenance, geographical mapping and enhanced 911, communication repair and maintenance, hazardous materials, public fire education, community relations, wellness and fitness, training, and emergency management. The Communication Division is responsible for all communications relative to the operations of the department, which include normal business calls, emergency calls, alarm notifications, emergency fire and medical dispatch procedures, and other related procedures. The facility allows 2 operator positions, which are both redundant. Each one allows a call taker or radio operator to work. This is normally staffed with 1 employee, which can be augmented for high volume calls, such as the ice storm or the windstorm or an airport emergency. The service is supported through a communication network of primary, secondary, and tertiary systems, which allow continued operations of our communication systems throughout any emergency. This is made possible using 7 remote sites, multiple mobile and portable radio, and call recording. Our telecommunication personnel communicate daily and monitor our mutual aid partners, which allow us decreased response time. We also a 911 backup for the town of Litchfield Fire and Rescue Department. Communities typically have enough resources to handle local emergencies. However, in the case of multiple alarm fires, mass casualty incidents, or large-scale hazardous materials incidents, municipalities may call in resources from surrounding communities to either respond directly to the incident or to cover their stations. We have the ability to communicate directly with most fire and EMS agencies in the state of New Hampshire, along with common interoperability channels for fireground operations. This division is where the emergency response starts. When 911 is called, it is directed to the State of New Hampshire Department of Safety Bureau of Emergency Communications. A communication specialist will determine the discipline that is required, either police or fire. The address is confirmed and then sent to the local dispatch center. Upon receiving notification of an emergency from 911, the computer displays the location and phone number of the caller. This information is loaded into our local computer-aided dispatch software, and the appropriate apparatus and personnel are selected for the emergency. Simultaneously, the fire stations are alerted, an audible dispatch is sent over the network, along with mapping that is printed in each station for the responders. The telecommunications specialist will continue to support field operations until the incident is terminated. All activities are recorded until the emergency is concluded. A spotlight on a recent fire displays all the components of this system.
Company delivery for building fire 182 Rockingham Road. Engine 123, Medic 1, Car 2, 182 Rockingham Road for building fire. Engines 123.
A building fire on Rockingham Road last November. A single fire communication dispatcher in 1 hour and 58-minute incident had a total 131 radio transmissions, 17 incoming telephone calls, 18 outgoing telephone calls, and 65 entries into the computer-aided dispatch. Just a quick summary of all the activities taking place in the fire dispatch center during one incident. This division is also responsible for emergency and non-emergency statistical information, data input, report generation, fire and special permits, and emergency plan updates. The Communication Center is operated 24/7, 365 days a year, and handle close to 3,400 emergency calls, 35,000 telephone calls, which greatly impacts our community. The Fire and Rescue Department's total emergency responses have increased greatly. In 1990, they were 965 emergency responses. In 2000, we have 2,459 responses. And in 2010, 3,274 responses. The Communication Division has 4 full-time and 2 part-time personnel assigned, each with a minimum of 120 hours of training. All communication personnel are certified emergency medical dispatchers able to provide pre-arrival instructions until emergency personnel arrive on scene. Londonderry is one of a few departments in the state where this form of advanced dispatching is available. These are the sole employees that remain in the station to assist the community 24 hours a day. We all know every day around the world bad things happen to good people, and who will be there to help them? The net of public safety is woven from medical first responders, law enforcement agencies, and fire rescue teams, and the force that connects them is the telecommunication operators, the true first responders, dedicated and professional.